Hi guys again. So I'm currently now 6.5 months post L45 microdiscectomy. Everything's been going really well. On Sunday, just completed my first 10-kilometre race running and got a pretty good time, which I was really pleased about. So that was fantastic. And afterwards, didn't have any symptoms down my leg or in my back or in my feet whatsoever. I did notice through the race I had a little bit of numbness in my toes, but I think I've always had that my whole life, so I think it's more related to just other stuff, not really my back. And the next day, pulled up really well, just a little bit of tightness like down the side of my stomach and across the top of my hips and my glutes, but that's fairly normal. So didn't have to take any medication. I did pop a couple of Nurofen or anti-inflammatories before the race. More of a cautious thing rather than anything else, sort of just prepping just in case something happened afterwards or I did pull up sore, but no, nothing, so that worked out really good. And it's really nice to finally not have to continually, pop medication to get you through or, to reduce those flare-ups. So I'm obviously not really getting those flare-ups anymore, which is fantastic. So I haven't done a post for a while. I think my last post was about a month or 1 month post. So it's been 4 months since I've done anything online. So to get to 10Ks, I got the all clear to start running in about start of March, which was my aim, so that was achieved. So I started at 5 minutes on a soft surface, so grass or AstroTurf or a running track. I didn't start on the asphalt or on the road. It's just too hard and the impact's too much for your back. So I started on something soft, which I did. Started at 5 minutes, and every time I went running, I increased that by a minute until I got to 30 minutes, and I was tolerating it really well. Sometimes I had a bit of twinges afterwards, so I just had some Nurofen to settle any sort of inflammation that was there because of the run, and that would settle within a few hours, so that's really promising. So once I got to 30 minutes, I then started increasing it by 2 minutes a run. Still trying to maintain a set pace. I think if you start to increase your pace, you're increasing that intensity a bit too much. So when you start running I started on 5.5 Ks an hour, because you can use your apps on your iPhone or whatever when you're running, and it tells you your pace. So I just use that to monitor my pace. So I kept it about 5.5 Ks an hour to 6 Ks an hour, right up till I got to 30 minutes, and continued that on till I got to about 45 minutes, and then I reduced my time back to 30 minutes and started increasing my pace to about 5 minutes a K, 5 minute Ks and 4 minute 45 Ks. And I found that worked out really well, and then just again slowly increased from 30 minutes at a quicker pace. I haven't done any sprint work at all. I've sort of just done that long distance training because that's sort of what I'm been training for now. And that's worked out really well, which is fantastic. I also have been doing Pilates once a week at my physio on the reformer and all the machines they have there, and I find that's really, really good for my core and just making sure that those deep core muscles are really switched on, because they do tend to switch off with back pain. And I even had a real-time ultrasound just to have a look at my transverse abdominis, and even after all that work, they're just starting to build up and get their patterning right. So it is a long process, and I'm now 6.5 months, and they've only sort of just started to build up now to be quite strong. So I've managed to get like all full range back in my back, so leaning back and forward and to the sides and those sorts of things. I do get a little bit of tightness from the top of my hip in my glutes, but that's just muscular tightness, and I had a massage and that helped. I give my partner to massage it, or con him anyway, and I try and stretch it out as much as I possibly can, and that seems to just keep it under control. So yeah, I'm back doing pretty much everything that I was before surgery, but I have had to give up hockey. I realised just the risk of all that bending over and turning and rotating, and it's not going to be good for my back, and I don't want to risk doing this again. So I gave up. Well, I didn't give up, I quit for the benefit of myself and my career, and I don't want to have surgery again. So I've decided to give triathlons a crack. So the running, swimming, bike riding. So I've just actually started that sort of this week, slowly getting into all of that. So I've started swimming again, which I now can do an hour consistently, lap after lap. I have been started taking bike classes at the gym. They go for about 45 minutes, but I tend to leave after about half an hour. Just for this week, because I do feel a little bit in my back, and I think that's more being cautious rather than pushing through, which I think is really important. You don't always push through. That, the notion of no pain, no gain just doesn't work anymore. So I always walk out at 30 minutes, and I'll slowly progress that up over the next sort of 3 weeks to be able to do a full 45-minute class. So, and back to running. I've maintained my running since the race was only on Sunday, but I'll go for a run tomorrow. Probably cut back to 5 or 6 kilometre runs, and just start increasing the pace. So slowly. So everything I do I have to progress it. I don't have to progress it by 1 minute intervals anymore. I can progress it by 2 to 5 minute intervals, which is really good because I know my body can tolerate it well. So yeah, I do get twinges in my leg every so often, but I know that my body is healed and it's fine, and it's just the nerves playing up a little bit, and so it doesn't bother me at all. And if I do have a bit of I don't know. Especially if I've gone and done some exercise, I'll just have some Nurofen or, anti-inflammatories or Panadol or whatever, and that just settle it down straight away. So I'm back working full-time, or not full-time hours, but I'm doing like 12-hour shifts and on my feet and lifting stuff. Try and limit my lifting. I do notice at the end of a 12-hour shift, if I've been lifting stuff, then I do feel a little bit, and I do have some Nurofen throughout work as well, just because I'm on my feet for so long. I'm back at uni. Just finished 10 weeks of placement. That went fine, no issues. The only sort of thing that cropped up is I would get a bit stiff after sitting all day. So just making sure I had breaks all the time, or just stood up, wandered around, sat back down. That really helped with that. So. But no issues, because I'm placement with children, because I'm doing physio and picking up kids. No issues, just making sure I was doing it the right way, and we get taught all that sort of manual handling and proper lifting technique and that sort of stuff. So that comes into play really, really good. Well, so if you are lifting things, make sure you get the right advice to lift properly, and your physio will provide that, or your GP, or whoever, your surgeon, whoever, when you do start lifting things, because you don't want to have it way out here, because that's just going to put a massive load on your back. So it's got to be in nice and close. But anyway, they'll talk to you about all of that. So yeah, so everything's going fantastic. No issues at this point in time. Just got to keep nutting through my progression of my activities, and hopefully I'll do another post in probably another 6 months, I reckon, or maybe a bit less. Maybe just before my first triathlon, I'll put a post up and tell you guys how it's been going. So I'm really happy how everything's gone, and I think the most important thing to remember is, it's a very, very long road, 6 months, but it is so worth keeping with your rehab program and doing everything that your physios and your GP tells you, and sticking to it like glue. Like, don't just push yourself, because you'll just ruin it, and you don't want to push that risk. And look at me, I've managed to get back to nearly everything and I have no pain. And I stuck by mine to a T. And it was just so worth it now. And I just feel amazing, and I'm glad to be back competing and doing everything that I love. So stick with your rehab. I know it's hard and you have hard days, but just keep going with it and keep nutting through. Just look one day and then get through the next day, and there will be crappy days, but just, do your Pilates or your yoga and, find something that makes you happy and keep going, So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in about 6 months. See you.